Sure, thanks for that. Okay, so hey guys, so let me just give you a brief introduction about myself before we get started with this demo session. So as you see, my name is Manoj Kumar, and I've been doing this mentoring within cybersecurity for various different platforms. We've talked about cloud security, so the security operations center. So I teach ethical hacking, penetration testing, vulnerability assessment, and a lot of different security solutions that is deployed within cybersecurity across the infrastructure. So I've got around 8 years of experience. So working started my career into cybersecurity, and right now working so for one of the reputational US based companies, product based companies, where I'm associated as an information security engineer level 2, and I've also been leading a small team, so where we handle different security operations. Okay, this is in brief about me. So now, before we could get to start with anything for today, I want you to understand, so why should we learn cybersecurity? So now, as you see everywhere, if you call someone, so they'll be giving you awareness related to cybersecurity so that you could stop yourself from any cybersecurity scams that is happening around you. So there's a lot of cybersecurity scams are happening, guys. Cybersecurity is not only needed for the organizations, so it is needed for everyone, so that everyone should know how to properly use the internet. Okay, so we must be here for a job, right? So to upskill ourselves or to learn cybersecurity from the scratch so that we could able to get a job in cybersecurity. So now, why do you have to get a job in cybersecurity? Why can't you just go try to learn any other technologies and try to get a job over there? So now, if you see the trend that is coming with cybersecurity jobs are getting more demanding. So there's very less professionals in cybersecurity, as there's only few number of professionals working for cybersecurity, and there's a lot of requirement in cybersecurity. Obviously, the demand is very much higher than the other domains that we have got in IT. So I think so. This is one of the important factors. So where as the demand is more, so the way that we get the jobs would be pretty much easier. And do we have to learn coding, Manos, here? No, so we don't have to learn coding, guys. So we will all of these cybersecurity jobs, most probably into security operations center, all of this will be application related. So now, before we waste any of this time, or if I could bore you about talking about all of this, so let's get started. So let me take a whiteboard, and within whiteboard, let's try to understand the demo session today. So within demo session, our motto is to understand. So what are all the different aspects of cybersecurity being implemented across the organization? So what are your primary roles and responsibilities? And what are the security solutions? And how are these security solutions are being implemented by the organization, so that we could able to detect any malicious activity and respond to that. Okay, so let me share my screen, and meanwhile I'm just gonna get to use a new web whiteboard, guys. Just a second. Okay, here we are. Let me share my screen. Okay, so first let's try to understand the general terminology of what is cybersecurity. So here, if you get to check what is cybersecurity, one second, let me take my digital pen so that I can write it down. So all of our session through our entire course, I'll not be using any presentations or PPTs. So even when we are talking about the theoretical, so I would always want you to understand everything practically. That's why I'm going to use a virtual whiteboard to discuss any topics that we are going to cover within our SOC course. So here, let's try to understand the general terminology related to cybersecurity. So now I'll just say cyber security. Okay, so what is cyber now? When I was small, when I was in school, I used to go to cyber cafes. I used to not understand why. So these internet shops are being named as cyber cafes or cyber caves because cyber is the technology. Cyber. What is the general meaning of cyber? So this is the technology that connects to internet. The technology that connects to internet will be called as cyber. And the name itself says security. So protecting the technology that connects to internet will be called as cyber security. Okay, so now let's take an example to understand. So what are our primary jobs within the organizations? What are our primary roles and responsibilities? So think of yourself as a hacker. And now you guys are a group of hackers. So now on the machine that is being used by a hacker, the hacking machine, so we will be calling that as a zombie. So the hacker is using a zombie machine. Zombie machine is the machine that is used by the hacker to perform any cyber attack. Okay, so now he's using a zombie, and what he's trying to do is trying to hack into this particular network. So this network, let's say this network is of Microsoft. So they are using a zombie machine to perform any cyber attack. The Microsoft network. And you see, Microsoft is everywhere globally and they have a very big infrastructure, right? So, what he's trying to do is, as an attacker, he's trying to attempt to gain unauthorized access. Is not authorized to have access to it, but is trying to perform some cyber attacks and trying to perform unauthorized access. So now how does Microsoft could able to prevent these attacks that is being performed by a hacker or an attacker? So he can also be called as an adversary, attacker, or a hacker. So what is an attack? Is trying to do an attack. So attack is any attempt. So it can be any attempt that is made to gain unauthorized access will be called as an attempt attack. So it is any attempt that is gained to perform any unauthorized access, you will call that as an attack. So here attacker, so the one that who performs an attack will be called as an attacker, and he's using a zombie machine so that he wanted to hack into Microsoft. So do you think hacking is cybersecurity? So one of the common myth everyone believes is hacking is cybersecurity. No, hacking is not cybersecurity, guys. But so protecting or preventing the hackers to access our infrastructure will be cybersecurity. Okay, let's leave about this for a moment. Okay, now if he gained unauthorized access and he has got access into their servers, and within their servers they have got a lot of data. And now hackers are so smart that they have access to the data and they have exfiltrated all of that data. So whatever the data that is there on this server, so they have transferred it to their own system. And now what they would do is, so now they would just not be calm after getting what they need. So they'll come to social networking sites and they'll tell the world that okay, we've hacked into Microsoft and this is the evidence, and we've got to pull all of the customers' data. So we have the customer's credit card, their address, their services that they're using. So their phone number, their email address, their account name, their passwords. Now, so we've got everything, the data of the customers using Microsoft. So now, as this has been spread out to the world, so why do the Microsoft should care about cybersecurity as a company? Why should Microsoft should care about it? So now, as they have got data exfiltrated, they've got a cybersecurity breach. So now, so obviously they'll be having a lot of negative consequences as a company. You can think about you using Microsoft, and you get to heard saying that the Microsoft has been compromised. So would you be using Microsoft again? Let's not take Microsoft here. Let's take PhonePe, because we all use PhonePe, right? But PhonePe is a private company. So, and you get to hear the news that PhonePe has been compromised, and whatever the data, whatever the bank details, the debit card details that we give to PhonePe, so hackers have got all of that data. So do you think you get to use PhonePe again? Obviously not, right? So you would at least think next time whenever that you wanted to use it. So because of that, so they'll be having, the company will have a lot of negative consequences, and as it have negative consequences, so their reputation will come down. As their reputation can come down, obviously, so they'll have a lot of business impact. Now you see that they have built the company from last 10 12 years, and now a hacker could able to spoil the reputation of that specific company just within a moment, or within an hour. He has unauthorized access, got into the data, and he has got all of this data, and he have told the entire world that the phone pay has been hacked. So now there's a good saying in cybersecurity, guys. So now, so it takes years to build a company, but that reputation of a company can be spoiled within a moment. So by a single cybersecurity breach. So you could able to understand why cybersecurity is very very important for the organization, because so they're doing their, they're doing their, they have their IT just because they wanted to do the business, right? Now what happened, so as their IT has been compromised with the cybersecurity incident, they have been suffering a cybersecurity compromise. And what happens from this? So now obviously they'll have a lot of negative impact on their business. So now no company wants to have it, right? So that's why these days everyone wanted to so implement cybersecurity to their infrastructure. So why cybersecurity is being implemented? So that we can able to protect, so any unauthorized or any attempts that is made to gain unauthorized access, simply to say any of the hackers trying to do something wrong across my network infrastructure, if I wanted to stop it, so I have to implement cyber security to my infrastructure so that I could able to protect it. So now just from the example that I said, you can able to think how sensitive cyber security is. So it is very sensitive for the organization, and that's why so every company takes cybersecurity so seriously, and even very smaller companies are also implementing cybersecurity, and that's the reason we've got a lot of job opportunities outside, guys. So if you can just learn any of the security solution platforms, just one or two platforms, that could really fetch you a job in cybersecurity. So now the bottom line, one whatever that I wanted to talk about it for now. So cybersecurity is about so protecting so the technology that connects to internet. So now how organization implement cybersecurity? So cybersecurity is not hacking, but so defending the infrastructure from any of the unauthorized access attempts, so that we could able to protect the infrastructure, so that we will not be having these consequences to a company. Now, okay, that's fine. So we wanted to protect it, and so that's the reason cybersecurity is being implemented. So how are we going to protect it? So how do we know if someone is trying to do an unauthorized access? So first we have to, in order to protect, we have to identify, right? So we have to identify, detect the malicious traffic so that we could able to protect and eradicate that specific threat. Now how do we identify and detect it? So now this is where, so across the infrastructure, so if any company, whoever has deployed a security for their infrastructure, so in order to identify and detect any unauthorized access, so the organizations must be using different security solutions. So what these solutions are designed in such a way so it can able to identify and so detect any malicious activity. What are these security solutions? So here are the security solutions that you will also be learning. So we've got SIEM, so security information event management. So we've got SOAR, so security orchestration and automated response. We've got EDR, endpoint detection and response. So we've got MDR, managed detection and response. So we've got DLP, data loss prevention. We've got email security. So we've got cloud security, we've got container security, application security, penetration testing. So we do also have vulnerability assessment. So these are the most spoken. Now we also do have XDRs. Okay. So now these are the security solutions that is being deployed across the infrastructure so that the infrastructure can able to identify and detect any malicious activity. So now once we identify and detect malicious activity using these security solutions, so we could able to protect and eradicate it based on so what type of attempt that they're trying to do across the infrastructure, right? So now, so when you are working for security operations center, so now we call that as SOC, right? So what is SOC? SOC is security operations center. So now what are we going to do is, so here is where our primary job is to monitor these security solutions so that we could able to identify any malicious activity and we could able to protect and eradicate that attempt that the attacker is trying to gain. So the name itself says that we are going to handle the operations related to security so that we could able to protect or eradicate any live threats that is happening across the infrastructure. So these security solutions will monitor the infrastructure on real time to detect any malicious activity. To detect any malicious activity. So now it generates us a notification on any malicious activity that we are getting, and we call that as an alert. So alert is the notification that we are getting. So whenever if something is abnormal, if something is running maliciously, so we wanted to get a notification on this security solutions so that we could able to investigate and protect our infrastructure. So here you'll be getting a notification in the form of alert. Right. So now you are going to handle the operations related to security. So by continuously monitoring across the security platform so that you can able to detect any malicious activity, and so your job is to investigate the malicious activity, and then so you are going to protect your infrastructure and eradicate that attempt so that you could able to defend your infrastructure. So security operations center is being deployed so across your organization so that you could able to detect any malicious activity. So by properly preventing that malicious activity being performed across the infrastructure, so that you will not be having any of these consequences to a company. Now you understand why cybersecurity is very serious for the organization. So it is so sensitive that so it can spoil their entire business. So if they are unlucky, if they, it can also spoil their entire business. Okay, so now you'll be working in any of these platforms. If you can learn one platform, if you can learn SIEM platform, if you can just learn EDR platform or vulnerability assessment platform or MDR platform, so if you could learn any one of these platforms, you could just get a job in cybersecurity operations, guys, security operations center. But on this specific course, we are not going to look into only one or two tools, but we are going to look into multiple tools. So within SIEM, so we are going to talk about Azure Sentinel, which is also referred as Microsoft Sentinel. So we've got Splunk and IBM QRadar. Okay, this is SIEM is a solution, guys, and this solution is being offered by many companies. And apart from that, so we also have other SEM platforms like ArcSight, Logarithm, Cortex. We've got different SIEM platforms from different companies. Okay, think of this as a car, and now car has been manufactured by many companies, right? So now whatever you think is better for you, you would buy it. So similarly, so this is the security solution, and now whatever the organization thinks that it is best for them, so they'll be selecting from different kind of security solution, different types of tools that they have got. But one of the very popular tools right now is Microsoft Sentinel, guys. So most of the clients for all the service based companies within India are using Sentinel for sure. So now we are going to elaborately discuss about Sentinel, and we are going to look over into the architectures and the dashboards of Splunk and IBM QRadar. But so the elaborate discussion within our course will be mainly focused on Sentinel. And SOAR, Sentinel also has a SOAR platform. So we are going to look into the Sentinel SOAR as well. And apart from that, so we also have CrowdStrike's SOAR. So you might have heard about, if you are in security, you might have heard about CrowdStrike. So CrowdStrike has their own EDR, but they also have their SOAR platform as well. So SOAR will look into Sentinel and CrowdStrike. EDR, we are going to look into Falcon, CrowdStrike, and Microsoft Defender. So MDR, we are going to look into Alert Logic. So DLP, so we are going to look into Semantic. So email security, we are going to look into Proofpoint. So vulnerability assessment, we are going to look into Qualys and Nessus. And XDR platform, so we are going to look into Mandiant from Google. Now, as I told you, you don't have to learn all of these security solutions, but just to ensure, so we are going to provide you an elaborate knowledge on different security platforms. So we wanted you to have some practice or hands-on practice around all of these tools that we've just discussed. Okay, so now, so as you're working for Security Operations Center, so what are your primary roles and responsibilities are? One second. Okay, so your primary roles will be working on security solutions to monitor the infrastructure security. So to see what is happening across your infrastructure, so you would basically use the security solutions to monitor. So why are you doing it? So you are going to detect malicious activity across the infrastructure. Malicious activity on the infrastructure by using security platforms. Okay, what are these security platforms? Security platforms are here. So your main job is to investigate the alerts. So as I said, you are going to, whenever a malicious activity is being performed across your infrastructure, it can be any of the malicious activity. It can be any cyber attack. There's different cyber attacks. There's web application attacks, SQL injection, cross-site scripting. So cross-site request forgery, server-side request forgery, inferential SQL injection. So we've got different misconfigurations across the web application. We've got phishing attack, social engineering attack, man in the middle attack, ERP poisoning, DNS poisoning, sniffing, SSL stripping, session hijacking. We've got brute force attack, dictionary attack, distributed denial of service attack, DOS attack. So we've got a lot of different kind of attacks like this. So it can be any unauthorized attempt. So it can be any attack. So now these security tools are going to detect our activity. So now once it detects our malicious activity, it is going to throw us the alert. Now what are your job is to investigate whatever the alerts that you get on this security solution. You have to investigate the alert and determine if there is a security risk associated. If there is a security risk associated. Now, once we understand these tools, so now I'll show you the investigation procedures for each of these alerts and how do you determine if there is a security risk associated with that specific notification, with that specific alert that you've got. As soon as you get an alert, you have to investigate the alert, check for a lot of parameters within the alert, and determine whether if there is any security risk associated. Now that means if an attack is performed or if it is just not an attack, so you have to determine whether if it is, it has security risk, and you basically determine it as true positive or false positive. Okay. Now apart from investigating the alert, so you also have to manage, or you could also be integrating these security solutions to your infrastructure. Security solutions to your infrastructure. So if they have any troubleshooting on this security solutions, you'll be troubleshooting any host where the security solution, the security platforms. You guys, please mute yourself. Mute. Okay. So now we will be troubleshooting any host where the security platforms are not running. So just for now, I don't want you to confuse. So now these are your most probable responsibilities. Your most responsibility valids over here. So we are going to investigate the alerts that we get on our SIEM platform. It can be any of these platforms, and you're going to analyze each and every parameter of that alert, and you're going to determine so whether it is true positive or false positives. So how are you going to determine it? So what are all the basics that you have to learn? So now you have to also learn the architectures of each of these security solutions and how it works, and what are your investigation processes for different kind of alerts that you get on your infrastructure is your job, guys. So that's why we call our team as a security operations center team. So in short, we call it as a SOC. So what SOC team does? SOC team does monitoring on security solutions so that we could able to detect any malicious behavior. So as malicious behavior is being detected, we'll work on So protecting and preventing from this malicious activity on our infrastructure so that we could able to protect or implement cybersecurity across our platform. Right. So now this is what I wanted to talk about today, and I also wanted to spend some time with you. So if you guys have any queries or if you have any confusion, so before getting started with our course, if you have any questions, you can ask me, and if you have any confusion, you can clear that confusion from me, guys. So how are you doing? If you can tell if you have any questions or if you have any confusion of this particular course, so please try to ask me any questions that you have.
Hi, Manoj. Good morning.
Good morning, Arvind.
Thank you. So I'm so sorry. Sorry for the delay because I joined at 7:45.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. No
Sorry for the
problem.
mess because I do a night shift.
Oh,
So
sorry for
somewhere I'm so sorry for
that.
joining delay. Just one thing, Manoj.
Mhm.
Would you be joining the? I mean, would you be sharing this recording?
Yes, we will be sharing the recording. So as soon as the session is done every day. So because see, so when we can start working with this particular tools, you also have to understand the cybersecurity fundamentals first. Because as I know, some of you may have already came from cybersecurity background, or you guys must be working with non-IT and wanted to shift into IT within security, or there's a lot of people here of different backgrounds, right? Just to ensure all of us fit in the same pace, so we will be learning from the scratch. So from the scratch, even if you don't understand what is cybersecurity at the end of our course, so you will be getting to learn each and everything. So now once a session is done every day, so this recorded session will be shared to your Google Drive or Mail Drive. And as well, as soon as we are done with this session, so related to that specific topic, I'm going to share you the interview questions as well. So if you can continuously, constantly follow these sessions regularly for the next 2 months, so I'm really hopeful that you can crack your own job within your the security operations center, because we are going to talk about a lot of tools here, and if you can learn any of these tools, any one or two tools of this, so you can get into your job, guys. So as Sarvin, so I'm going to share you, we are going to share you the recordings every day once the session is done.
Fantastic, man. Thank you so much for that. Now, probably I have a request after
Mhm,
this session for today. I would like to talk to
mhm.
you. I mean, I would like to connect with you just for a couple of minutes, if it is okay with you.
Sure, sure, no problem. So, what you have, you can connect with me anytime, guys. I'm here to help you out. So, this is not the first SOC batch for me. So, I have tutored more than 5,000 professionals within Security Operations Center. And I also helped 100 plus people to launch their cybersecurity careers. So, I've been doing this from last 5 years, and I'm here to help you out. So whenever you wanted to connect with me, you can directly ping me on WhatsApp, or you could basically talk to me on email as well. So if you have any queries, so you can directly ping me on WhatsApp, or you could basically talk to me on email as well. So now once the session is done, so we are going to get into the
Hi Manoj, this is Shiva. Hello, is my voice is audible? Hello, my voice
Manoj,
is
by any
audible.
chance, will you lose you? Hello, Manoj. Hello, Manoj. You there?
It seems he left the meeting room.
Yeah, I think so. Like suddenly there was a disconnect. Did you experience that?
Yes, yes, yes.
Uh,
I think
Ah,
he's resigning. Yeah.
okay.
oh, sorry guys, I've got disconnected. I'm really sorry for that.
That's okay. So yes, we were talking about you train people and you said we can call you anytime.
Yeah, so you can be in touch with me anytime whenever you think that I can be of help. So please try to reach out to me. So I
Cool,
have my
Manoj.
number on the WhatsApp group. So you can try to ping me, or you can also take some assistance from Lokesh as well.
Okay. So locations?
Sorry.
I mean, you said we can take assistance from Lokesh. So who is Lokesh?
So Lokesh is the one who actually handle our sessions every day.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the time for you guys. So I know as this is just the demo session, so you might be having some queries, so some questions to be answered by me. If you have anything like that, so you can just talk to me without any hesitation. Okay. Meanwhile, so what are we gonna do is, so as we're gonna start working with these tools, you might ask me, so how are we going to use these tools, right? So we are going to utilize these tools on the live platform, guys. So Sentinel, so we already have a new lab deployed for you guys. So from as soon as we start learning, so I'll give you the credentials to access our lab, and we are going to generate alerts there and investigate the alerts within Sentinel as well. And EDR, so we have our own Falcon CrowdStrike platform, so where we can do a live investigation, so hunting for different threats, and so we could also perform incident response. So after this course, so where you will be standing, so what are all the designations that you can work. So now if we can write, so what are all the designations you can probably fit in. So you can be an information security analyst. So these are all the designations within security operations center. So you can fit in information security analyst L1 and L2, and we are also going to talk a bit of L3 as well, but not a lot. So L3 is the admin level, or L3 will be the lead level. So we'll also be talking a bit of L3, but so all of the L1 and L2 activities that you'll be learning. So later you could be a threat hunter, or you can be an incident responder. So companies may call it as cyber security incident responder. So cyber security incident responder. So some companies can call it as an SIEM engineer or SOC analyst. So you can also call it as a security analyst too. And an EDR analyst can be a vulnerability assessor. So you can be a threat detector. So now these are all the jobs. So these are all the designations that you can fit in after learning this specific course, guys. Right. So I don't want to bore you a lot today. So I just wanted to give you a complete demo on so what is cybersecurity. So how the organizations are going to implement cybersecurity so that they could be able to protect it. So now in order to monitor the malicious behavior, so within the organizations, they use security solutions like this so that they could able to monitor any malicious activity so that they could be able to identify and detect this malicious activity using these security solutions. Once they detect it, and as the security engineers, we are the ones to respond to this specific alerts so that we could properly prevent these alerts. So this is where we are going to protect and eradicate this malicious activity across the infrastructure so that we can able to so protect the infrastructure that we are going to work. So every smaller organizations are implementing cybersecurity because so I've explained you why cybersecurity is so very sensitive, right? So because their reputation can be spoiled just so a single breach, a single cybersecurity breach can able to compromise their entire infrastructure, their entire business. So that's why cybersecurity is taken so seriously by everyone, and it is also needed for everyone to have awareness because they should also wanted to protect themselves. And as a professionals, we are going to learn cybersecurity so that we can work for the organizations working into security operations center so that we can work on this specific tools to so monitor any malicious activity, investigate the malicious activity, determine it, and if there's any security risk, and we are going to protect that security risk across the organization. So this is what that we are going to do out of this course. Now as we move on our course, so first how our curriculum is designed. So first, simultaneously, we will be learning foundations of cybersecurity and we will be learning the lab. So within the lab, so we are going to learn about all of the security solutions. So now, as I told you, in order to work with security solutions, so you have to understand the very core fundamentals of cybersecurity. So now, where cybersecurity started, so it started from the internet. It started from the technology, protecting technology, cybersecurity. And where does the technology starts? It starts from internet. So that means cybersecurity. In order to understand cybersecurity, so you have to understand so how internet works, right? So within fundamentals you have to okay, now we're all communicating on internet, we've joined this whiteboard, so we have joined on a Zoom call and all of our devices are connected to internet so that we are having this live session. But do you know what is happening at the background? So there are a lot of things happening behind our internet communication so that we are all interacting here. So there's IP addresses are used, there's port numbers, there's sockets that is being used. So to understand the step-by-step process, we've got OSI layers, and in order to provide security at the initial level of the infrastructure, so the organizations use security devices like firewalls, IPS IDS, antiviruses, proxies, VPNs. Now, there's a lot of technologies that is being used by the infrastructure. So now, as there's a lot of technologies, so we need to have different technological teams working with different technologies within the infrastructure, and they must be using a lot of tools. So how are we going to protect those tools? And now, what are the common cyber attacks? So when we talk about these common cyber attacks, how these attacks are being done, so what are the mitigations, what are the objectives of an attacker performing this attack, and when we start working with the lab, we also have to understand the core cybersecurity topics like incident response, cyber kill chain, MITRE tactics, techniques, procedures, which is referred as MITRE attack. We'll be learning about how complaints auditing, security auditing is done across the infrastructure. So, and after that, we'll start learning each of these security solutions. So, whatever that we are going to learn on the foundations, we are just going to implement this practically across our lab, so that we are going to learn simultaneously both of this, so that we will not be having any confusion, guys. So do not worry, as we move on, so I'll make you learn cybersecurity effortlessly. So you just have to continuously follow this session, and every day as we do some understanding, or as we start learning something, and I'm going to give you assignments and interview questions based on the topics that we discuss on that specific day. So you do not have to worry. So we are going to learn each and everything effortlessly. So now, even if you just join some company within the next few months, and you might get to observe that your colleague will not be also having the knowledge that you have learned from here. So that's for sure. So there's a lot of cybersecurity professionals lacking skills, but so the organizations need them. So that's why they take them, without even having proper skills, because you do not find a lot of professionals within cybersecurity, guys. This is one of the most demanding domains, but still there's a lot of people lack cybersecurity knowledge, but a company needs a lot of people for that. So from this course, I'm definitely sure that you're going to learn this course so effortlessly. All you have to do is just follow the session regularly. So keep on learning the interview questions on time, and whatever the assignments that I'm going to assign you every day. So please ensure that you spend some time completing those assignments. So that time will not be more than 45 minutes or 1 hour for sure. So you have to at least spend 1 hour every day for our course apart from our lecture, so that we can able to learn all of these topics effortlessly, guys. But anyway, I'm glad that I could able to meet all of you today. So I think if you guys have any questions, so you could let me know, or else if you have anything to talk to me, so you have my number on WhatsApp. You can either ping me or call me. So whenever I'll be free, I'll reply back to you. Right. So that is all I have for today, guys. And if you have any questions, please don't be hesitant to ask me. So how did you find the way of teaching, guys? Am I going fast or am I going slow? If you have any quick feedback left for me, you could also give me, because so I'm here for you. So it's my responsibility to explain you in such a way that you could understand. So if you have any trouble understanding, so you can stop me right away anytime. So I'm ready to answer your questions, and I'm ready to explain the topic multiple times. If you don't understand, I'm here for that. So if you have anything like that, any quick feedback for me, please let me know, so that I can also try to improvise myself. Okay, then, so anything that you guys want to talk here? And if you could also introduce yourself to the rest of us here, maybe, so we will all be learning together. So if you can also introduce yourself to the rest of us here on the course, so it would also be helpful for you guys. But anyway, you guys will be meeting every day over the lecture. But if you wanted to know about each of you here, so maybe you have all of your numbers on WhatsApp too. So you could also just ensure to navigate together. So just ensure to learn together. But at the end of the course, not the end of the course, so as we start learning the security solutions, I might gonna give you the resume templates for you, and also help you to create your resume before you start. So before you start hunting for your jobs, so we will try to ensure that you have a proper resume, so based on whatever the things that you're going to learn. Right. Okay, then. So that is all I have from my side. If there's anything that you have from your end, so please let me know, guys.
Yeah, Manoj, I would like to definitely talk to you, likewise, I was saying. After the session ends, then we'll connect personally.
Sure, sure. So would be glad to talk to you, Arvind. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
So we'll
Okay.
continue in the same meeting after everything is over, or we'll have a separate conversation.
So you could just try to ping me. So I'll be having another session now. So I'll be free after 9:30. You could call me after 9:30 anytime.
Fine, good. All right.
All right. Okay then. So thanks for your time, guys. I really appreciate that. And thanks for listening to me from last 40-45 minutes. So I'm glad that I could able to meet all of you, and hopefully that I'll be meeting you every day for the next 45 classes, 45 hours of sessions that we're gonna have. Right. So thank you so much, and have a good rest of your day, guys. And so I'll try to meet you tomorrow at the same time. Thank you so much. Bye bye. You can leave for the session now.
Thank you,
Thanks
Manoj.
much.
Thank
So
you.
do we, Manoj.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Manoj. Your number is listed in WhatsApp. I'll get that and contact you, Manoj.
Sure. No problem.
9:30, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, 9:30, 9:45. We're going to connect.
Sure.
And thank you for the session for today.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Bye bye.
Okay then, guys. Bye bye.
Bye bye.